feel like we're here at Turning Stone and we have the Hall of Fame festivities. And here tonight, we saw a guy that really looks like he belongs back in the 1950s. And this was truly a throwback fighter. I was at ringside, and a bunch of old timers were sitting next to me, different people behind me, and everybody was fascinated. Cletus Seldin went out there and fought every second of every round. I'm told it was over 100 punches around in every round. Incredible, incredible attack, incredible consistency, great body work, did a fantastic, fantastic job. We had an excellent show tonight. I'm very, very happy that we've been able to present this here at the Hall of Fame. Zab Judah, I was told by his dad, came into this fight in the best shape that he's seen him, and he said, Joe, he's like he was in his prime. Cletus dismantled him, and it was non-stop pressure. I give a lot of credit to Zab. It was 11 rounds of continuous assault, and yeah, he used every bit of his guile and will and everything else to go those rounds. But it was a non-stop assault by Cletus, and a lot for him to be proud of, and really shows a real future in this 140-pound class. 138 and 1/4 pounds. It was like 138 1/4 pounds of dynamo. Great card. The fans were fantastic. It was great to be in a packed house like this. And you know, the co-feature fight, McGirt Papo, great fight. Really good fight. The draw, somewhat bittersweet, but overall good night of boxing. You had Vanessa winning the fight and gets knocked out. You had the Bubukov fight, close, good, battle-fought fight. Just Wendy Toussaint, Mario Alfano with his fight with the boss, and just a good, great night of boxing, but to see it capped off by a performance like Cletus Seldin had tonight, it's just really rewarding and fitting here when we're doing it in conjunction with the Hall of Fame ceremonies here at Turning Stone Casino. I want to thank everybody. I'm going to turn this mic over to somebody who, you know, not only did he do what he did in the ring, but you all saw, I think he beat most of us to this press conference, all right? Still in his shorts, still ready to go, all right? This is a real warrior. This is a throwback to the 1950s, throwback to the old-time fighters when they really fought. So I'm sure the fans are going to want to keep seeing Cletus Seldin. You know, he really showed the Hebrew hammer, right? Cletus Seldin. New NBA champ.
Woo! Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Thank you guys. I want to first thank Zab Judah and all his Brooklyn Knights that came out. Zab was one of the most classiest individuals I've ever been in the ring with. Each round, I knew that I was putting pressure on him, and I was getting to him, and each round, he looked over at me, bobbed his head, and we wanted to get it back on. And I loved him, and I loved him for that. He was such a classy person on the inside, and if you hit him with a good shot, he told you did a good job. I know I talked a little smack in there with him at the end. I said, oh yeah, I'm gonna be here all night on you. And it was, I had a great time sharing the ring with him. I was in shape for this fight, just like Joe said, the 1950s and older fights. I was ready to box 15 rounds tonight, the whole time, every second of every way. I want to thank Scott Lopek and Pete Brodsky, most importantly for this, because they gave me the tools for this fight and let me decide how I wanted to do it. All the years that we put through these little different styles, with the crossover, with the punches, with the moving to side, some of you guys get to see me go lefty. These were all the tools that they gave me and said, here's the playbook, you run the plays. And I said, oh yeah. And I had fun, had a good time doing it, throwing my jabs when I had to, hitting him in the right, my right hand to his body, at the beginning of every single round, which took him to a different spot that he didn't want to be in. Later on in the round, he started moving, going a little deeper into the rounds, and I wanted to move with him too. And then I went right back onto him and did my work. Going into the 11th round, I said, okay, we finally got to the part where we knew we wanted to get him. I didn't want to go out there and fight 4 rounds tonight. I wanted to fight long rounds and keep doing the work over and over. And in the last round that we went into, the 11th, Scott and Pete said, okay, finish with your punches. I said, yes, please. And then I was going, when I was throwing my punches, I was finishing through with them. If you've seen early in the rounds, I was just touching them, just finding a little shot, but keep touching them, making sure that he would not get the distance to throw his combinations. I knew in the 3rd round he would no longer able to hurt me because his everything's out of him. And going back to the 11th, I knew once I got him where I wanted him against those ropes again, I wasn't going to let him up. And that's when I was coming across with both my arms, coming through each shot, just bearing down and just toughening up, letting him find the opportunity, because he was so good at just holding his hands up and being able to take those little body shots over and over again. Again, Zab Judah was an amazing athlete. Being out here in Hall of Fame weekend, I said it before, it's the biggest dream that any athlete could ever have, fighting in front of a bunch of legends and Hall of Famers in any sport, in any opportunity, or in any activity. Any single person would want to fight in front of the best fighters in the world. I remember seeing Sugar Shane Mosley in the corner, and I seen a bunch of hammerheads in the oven. I said, okay, this is going to be a fun night. The crowd was amazing. The fans were amazing. The heart that the Zab Judah fans have was insane. Going into, I hear him in the 11th round, still cheering his name as I'm still punching, trying to put a hole in him. And they just keep cheering for him, and he keeps staying in there. And he's such a warrior that he was never going to give up on that fight. The referee did a great job of stopping it. And I let the referee know at the end, because of who he was, I'm not going to bust your balls for him holding me that many times in the fight. I understand who he was. It's okay. He said, oh, thank you for that. So thank you, Brittany, my girlfriend, my family, everybody came out here. Hammerheads came all over from New York, from Long Island, from Buffalo, everywhere we can find these guys. They came out and supported us. Fight TV, everybody came. Our boy Burrito even came here. God damn it.
Some friends.
Bastard, he's a pain in the butt. Brian Busto, the managers, Pete Brodsky, everybody. It was just an amazing training camp with freedom that they gave me. We basically would talk to each other along the ways, saying, hey, this is what I want to do today, that's what I want to do this day. I had plenty of recovery guys. I had Bert Gordy, my acupuncturist, Raymond Matfield, the physical therapist, nonstop, Jeff Acerca, all these guys on his team that no one ever sees or have. I have an acupuncturist, a physical therapist, I have a primary care physician on site, on call for when I need them. I did hot yoga freaking 2 times a day. I did everything that I could possibly do to put everything I had into this fight. I was emotional this entire week because I felt like I have everything that I can do, and I wanted to put it forward so that if anything ever happened, I knew I did every single thing possible. And that's why this rounds were 12 rounds and not 10 rounds, because when Joe DeGuardia asked me, hey, you want 10 rounds or 12 rounds? I said, 12 rounds, Joe. If something comes up and something happens, I do not want to be forgetting and living my entire life, with knowing that if I had those 2 extra rounds, I could have got him out of there. And luckily I did, because I got a little bit of bonus for knocking him down. Ain't that right there, Joe?
Yeah, you do.
And it was 11th round.
And by the way, I just want to say one other thing too. I just noticed, I said he had his shorts on. He still has his hand wraps on. All right? When I asked him, I said, you want to take a shower first? Are you okay? He said, listen, I'm not going to make them wait. It's late. Let's go out there and do it right now.
Yeah,
and he came out with everything here.
Yeah, I'm so excited and so proud of myself, and so accomplished, saying that I went out there, I trained my butt off. I started boxing at 22 years old. 22 years old, guys, and I just beat 6-time world champion Zab Judah. And it's nothing fancy that I did. I just worked every single day. I got some great trainers that have believed in me and just let me work. And you can see what happens when anyone who's dedicated can do something in a sport where you go in as gym at 22 years old, everybody laughed at you, and that's what they did to me. And now I'm able to say I just defeated 6-time world champion Zab Zab Judah, and I put it to him, and I gave it to him for 11 rounds, every second of every round, just so he can breathe and think about me for the rest of his boxing days.
Thank you. Any
Yeah.
questions?
Yeah, Cletus. You talked a little bit about developing this throwback style, working with your trainers. How are you able to use such an old-fashioned style at such a high level of competition and be successful with it? There's nobody that fights like you anymore.
Everything came from the foundation because I was a wrestler and a football player, had a great foundation, and Pete Brodsky saw, you know, I'm not slick. I'm not a guy that can be, you know, back and forth and moving side to side just because I don't want to. But Pete Brodsky taught me a discipline of being low that other people can't do. In the day and age we go to and the individuals that we see every single day, kids don't want to work harder, they want to work smarter. But guess what? I worked harder. Being able to stay down in a crouch for 10 rounds, 11 rounds, 12 rounds is extremely painful for any other fighter to do. And because I have the ability of mentally being able to get stuff nice and low and the coming forwards style, it paid off because of the hard work and be able to stay low like that. You watch the old fighters, you know, they just stay down and they weave under and over. Who the hell wants to do that? Ain't nobody want to do that in boxing. I do. I'm good at it.
How did you make sure that a guy that's slick and fast like Zab, that this fight didn't turn into a Yves Ulysse fight?
Right.
Similar style, so were you
Yes.
concerned about that going into this?
Yes, going into Yves Ulysses' fight, remember I got knocked down those 3 times? If you got rid of those 3 knockdowns, he still had to win that fight, right? And that would have been a totally different kind of fight. So my goal was not to get knocked down 3 times in 3 rounds and get up and try to win. So I made sure my defense was on, and Pete Brodsky recommended something that we worked with for a few years, and that was actually switching over to lefty. I know if I hit you with a right hand, and I cranked him in one of the rounds at the beginning of it, and he started getting a little wobbly, I was like, oh look, there's that chicken dance thing again. There it is. Oh, I'm gonna get that man. And because of the switching to the lefty, he wasn't able to figure out what he wanted to do. He didn't want to know, he really wanted to go to his right, which is my left, and I said, I wanted to keep him in one side of the ring, and that was to the right side of me, and not let him go out both ways. Yves Ulysses was one of the greatest amateur fighters Canada ever had, and he was so fast that it hit him left and right, so that I made sure that I did not have that on my hands this time. Kept him on the one side of the ring, and kept going forwards. I think there was only 1 round where he started moving to his over, and I said, no, cut it back over, so I dropped his right hands to his body.
Cletus, congratulations on your victory.
Thank you.
You mentioned that after the third round that he could no longer hurt you.
Right.
But at what point in the fight did you feel him slipping away, and at what point did you realize that you had control of him?
Really, I started getting into him, and I started switching a little bit earlier too. You guys see me going from lefty to righty. I'm very awkward to fight with. Even Scott Lopek and Brian Busto and Joe DeGuardia, when they would hold the mitts, I would just get in angles, and I would just bring everything to where they were suffocating, and they couldn't even defend themselves holding the mitts. They literally were just like, there's nothing I can do here. And that's what I was trying to basically do with him, keeping him off guard. Everybody else comes in the gym the same way, jab, 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 right hand, jab, 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 right hand. But I would do that, wait for my opportunity, and I would switch over and try to bang him with that right hand, because I know if I hit him with that, I can hurt him really bad. I did it once in a round, and just kept trying to bring it forward. And he's such a good fighter, because his head's right there. I'm trying to hit with the straight right hand. I just couldn't miss him. I kept missing. Damn it. But if you rewatch that fight, it was my right jab when I went lefty who was hitting him consistently, and you don't want to get hit with my right hand that many times.
Cletus, congratulations on your win. Alex Hamer from Ringside Network to Philadelphia. Now that you have the marquee win on your record, what do you see as a future in the 140s that you like to do to move a step closer to a championship?
Yeah, this was a big opportunity for me, and this was a big reason why I wanted those 12 rounds, because moving forwards, I really want to fight a world championship kind of style fight. Maurice Hooker is one of the best ones I want to see. You know why? That's your Ali Frazier, baby. You got that tall, thin, bop, 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 and you got me. Low, coming forwards. I'll eat it, I'll bring it. I think that'd be a great fight for both of us. Even the WBC kid, what's his name? That's it.
Ramirez.
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 I'll be honest, guys. I don't watch boxing. I watch old school boxing. You guys know my favorite fighter of all time, Henry Armstrong. I watch Henry Armstrong every night. I'm not going to watch Ramirez or Hooker. I watch them live, but those are the guys that I see, and that's why in this fight I said the greatest name of fighter I'll ever fight is Zab Judah, because there's not going to be another fighter like that for another 10 years, coming around as a legend and being able to share a ring with somebody like that. And I want to thank him for coming in. He was so respectful. His team was respectful. Everybody of there, whole time, he even gave me a goddamn Funko Pop.
Jimmy Ayash from Boxing Action Magazine. Congratulations on your new title. And also, Joe, congratulations on Star Boxing having an amazing card tonight. I mean, every single fight was action-packed. It was awesome.
Thank you.
Cletus, two-part question. One is, you mentioned that you wanted to take Zab into deep waters, but you went right after him. You bum rushed him and didn't give him a chance to breathe. Talk about your strategy, and also talk about at the end of the third round when you caught him with that left and he did that chicken dance in the last 5 seconds of the round. What was you and your corner thinking and talking about after that third round?
When I was doing when we started the whole fight, every day in training camp, we knew Zab Judah in his prime wouldn't go past 5 or 6 rounds. Like I'll be honest too, I didn't watch any footage of Zab. I watched the one fight he fought last, and that really didn't do anything for us because the guy just moved. And I didn't watch any fights from him at all. I just decided, hey, he has to stop me, I don't have to stop him. So what we did in our training camp was Scott and Pete worked every day together, telling me to work fast in those first 2 rounds. If I worked really fast and hard in those 2 rounds, I could then breeze it off and then work the longer rounds into him. And that's exactly what I did to him. I tried to take him out. Everything he had early on, because I don't want to get caught up in that Ulysses point style, jabbing, slicking and moving, pop shotting me. So I made sure wherever he went, I went. He stepped forwards, I stepped forwards right on him, jabbing him, moving back and forwards. When I did hit him with that right hand, because I moved lefty, I cracked him with it. I said, okay, there he goes, man. But in the back of my head, I heard the 10-second marker. I said, you know what? Not going to waste myself right now, because the referee might not stop it. It might let him live on. Why waste it? Let me just make sure he knows that I'm still in his face. And going into the next round, Pete Brodsky said the greatest fight. He said, perfect, keep it up. Don't mess this up. Keep everything exactly what you're doing. Working them. Every time we got inside, you know, those shots or those little shots, they don't hurt from you guys on the outside, but trust me, I can hear him every time I would hit him with a right shot to the body, or if he would hold me, I would just keep clicking him on the side of his body over and over again. So I was proud that I continued to work. My biggest thing was not to try too hard, because if I try too hard, then I could, you can see sometimes I get off balance like that, and that's what we do not want. So thank you, Pete, and Scott, Joe, Brian, my brother, everybody.
When you wobbled him there at the end of the round, when there was 10 seconds left, from press row, I thought you let him off the hook. Did you feel him breaking down? Did you know that it was just a matter of time?
If that wasn't the 10-second, if I didn't hear that 10-second marker, I would have been all over him. And cause I had him against the ropes too.
Yeah.
But because of that 10-second marker, and I just didn't want to engage if there was something big did happen. I didn't want him to all of a sudden come back and try to crack me, because that's one of the first things usually get cracked. You want to crack someone back. So I tried to make sure that I didn't overdo it. I stayed focused, and just because I knew the 10-second bell was gonna ring, so I don't know, he knocked him out in the first or fourth round, whatever it was, third. Let's keep him going. Let's keep him going. And the son of a bitch just kept smiling at me if they were around. I look over and I said, what the hell are you looking at me for? He's still here, huh?
And second part, you'd only fought 2 rounds since the Ulysses fight. You knocked out Laura and Matei,
Right.
I mean, real quickly. Did you know that you could go 12 rounds, or was that a concern that you weren't looking to knock him out, or what was your game plan once you knew you could hurt him?
Yeah, the last two fights, I think the total was what, 26 and 44, which equals 1 minute in the two fights. 12 rounds is what I do. That's what I'm good at. I'm good at going the distance. Nobody ever sees me do it because of what I do to the opponents. Sometimes back in the Paramount days, we would go to rounds, 8 rounds, I think, because I injured my hand once, and that tough Mongolian dude, that bastard was a tough one. Jargal, oh, he was a tough one. But I had the ability to box these tough rounds, and if Zab wasn't so, he was right in my face. Because he knew if he gave me a little bit of distance, I would eat him up a little bit. So I wasn't able to rip those hard shots. So I just wanted to touch him. I was just trying to touch him each second of each round, make sure I jabbed in because I don't want to get hit with that goddamn uppercut. That if I have to hear one more person say he's gonna hit me with an uppercut, I'm done with boxing. Like everyone kept saying the uppercut, every single person. So every day, and guess what? He didn't hit me with no damn uppercut. And when he did hit me with a good shot, I made sure my chin was down and hit me on top of the head. So I'm very proud of the performance I have with my team.
A question for Coach Scott, actually. Could you detail the theory behind wanting Cletus to start fast at every round?
I wanted him to start fast in the beginning. Me and Pete, we talk about this every day, start fast in the beginning. So, you know, Judah's as good a shape he can be in, as he can be in. He's 41 years old, and he's gonna get tired down the stretch. You had to figure he knew the distance, because he's done it a bunch of times. He's a really good fighter. But if my guy is close to as good as him, and they go down a stretch of 12 rounds, my guy has to beat him. He's just too strong. That's how we figured. So we wanted him to come out very fast. First 2 rounds, like a bullet. And he did it every day in sparring. In sparring, I had to make him box a little bit to keep the sparring partner around. I had to start, listen, lighten up a little bit. You got to box the guy because he's beating him to death. And then he'd get back on it, but it was a great training camp. Great camp.
Thank you, Jonathan Royal and Heavy
Yeah,
Hitters.
Jonathan
Those
Roy,
guys are
Heavy
the
Hitters,
best.
Dave Fleming.
Fighting them all
Those guys
night
helped out a lot.
on the Triple G card,
They're
right?
fighting at the Garden tomorrow night, Triple G card. Great sparring partner. They're great.
Cletus, you say you don't watch current fights. I mean, are you aware of, the guys that are in the World Boxing Super Series and which they're doing a great 140-pound tournament right now with Regis Prograis and Josh Taylor in the finals? Are you aware of your contemporaries?
I've never even heard of it till now. I didn't know there was a tournament or anything. I'm just like, who we fighting? Zab Judah? Okay. I really don't watch these boxing guys. They don't bring what I enjoy into boxing. I started watching boxing maybe when Ricky Hatton was around. I liked his style. And then if you move backwards from Gotti and then Roberto Duran, Mike Tyson, those guys are guys I enjoy watching. Frazier, Rocky Marciano. I watch those guys all day. I remember when I walked into the boxing gym, I thought I could be Roy Jones Jr. I used to have the tassels on my shoes. I think I was flashy, because I was a good athlete. But then when I fought those good athletes, it didn't really work out too well. But I had the ability today, if you guys see me, I was on my toes. I was moving in and out, making sure that Zab would just miss me just enough, and he would throw these big shots, and I knew that's all he had, and he would just miss them, and then I would just be right back in his face. So I'd make sure I had the ability to be on my toes, something Pete Brodsky's been working on me for my entire career.
I guess it's a better question for Joe. All 4 champions are kind of fighting each other. You got Taylor and Prograis, and then you have Hooker and Ramirez are signed to fight. Realistically, I mean, that's good for the sport, but what's next for Seldin? Is there any names, any one you want to look at? I guess it's better to ask you because they just...
Well, I don't mind if they all fight themselves, get one champion, then I'll fight those guys and get them all, right? Get all the belts at once.
Do you have anyone top of mind?
It's all timing. Look, I mean, he just fought a guy who's a 6-time world champion, a legend type of name. We're not going to find a name that big, even amongst the champions. Zab's name is bigger. So, right now he's got this under his belt. We want to keep him busy. Cletus has already asked me, can I fight June 28th?
Yeah, I want to fight back in June. Like, I'm good, I swear. I'll fight next month. I'll fight the end of the month. I swear. I'm like, this is what I want to do. I don't need to sit here and wait for another 10-time world champion or whatever you got for me. I just want to fight just like the old guys do. I love being in the ring, entertaining, putting on a performance. You guys all say it over and over and over again. I read everybody's comments when they write on the damn articles. Cletus Seldin, he is nothing but a brawler who gets hit in the face and takes punches and gives punches. I just went 11 rounds with Zab Judah. My face does not look like a guy who goes into the fight, beat up, coming out sore as hell. Tell you right now, Zab Judah, how hard it is to hit his little Jewish white boy's little head from Long Island. It ain't that easy to hit my little head. That little peanut-sized head is beautiful looking. It's a little small for this big-ass body I got, but I swear to God, I don't get hit like these other guys do. And you guys, even I saw Chris Algieri's picture. I don't watch his fight. I see Chris Algieri, both his eyes beat up. I never came out of a fight with 2 eyes. Even when I fought Ulysses, my eyes weren't beat up or anything like that. I got Tommy John surgery, but besides that, you know, I don't get hit, I don't get beat up. Sparring, hell no, I ain't getting beat up. I know my lesson from watching the older fighters and what not to do. So I believe that my style, and Pete Brodsky's always said it, I come out of these fights not banged up. Zab Judah, the slickest guy, the guy that's supposed to do everything, and if you look at all my other opponents, their guys, their eyes and their faces are all beat up, their bodies hurting from head to toe, because I do hit you in the elbows, shoulders, arms, wherever I can find you. So I'm good to go to fight like next month. I swear, I'll fight 12 times a year, I'll fight every other month. It's always been like that. I enjoy it.
For Scott and Pete, he's obviously tough as nails. Do you guys is he too tough for his own good? I know he fought when he needed Tommy John surgery. Do you guys have to reel him back in? Is he too tough for his own good?
Yeah, Pete. Well, that's a very good question. He's a very tough kid, and he, like he had mentioned before, he was a great all-around athlete. And generally speaking, guys that have that diversity understand balance. And if you understand balance, that's the key to becoming a good fighter. And Cletus showed you tonight, when he had the opportunity, he needed the motivation to bring out the best in himself. And all he asked for was an opportunity which Joe gave him. And I think you see kind of an epiphany here in that Cletus recreated himself. He's not just a guy that knocks you dead with an overhand right and whatever. He is the personification of Joe Frazier, Rocky Marciano, and all the old-time fighters. Shoulders, elbows, not dirty, but tough. And at the end of the day, people pay their money to come in, and they want to see action, and they want to see guys really put out. And tonight, I can't say enough about Cletus, and I also can't say enough about Zab Judah, because in 2 or 3 rounds, he took a horrendous beating. He really did. And I'm gonna tell you something, I don't care if he was 41 or 31, you know, taking that kind of beating and continuing takes a lot of guts. And like Clete said before, and Joe, I wanna really personify Zab Judah and his father and his contingency were a class crew. They were nothing but polite, and at the end of the day, this is what boxing's about. Not all the hype and the bullshit and the back and forth. 2 men decided they're gonna put it on the line for each other. They came out and they did it. And I hope that all the people that watch this saw a reminiscence, a recreation of what we saw in the 40s and 50s. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm so pumped to see Zab. I want to sign one of my gloves that we fought together. Like I want to sign my glove, and I can put it in my glove thing, because that was a great moment, great opportunity for me. Thank you, Pete. Everything was so beautiful. And the one thing I can say about Zab was, you know, when you're doing something to somebody, like if you hear somebody with a body shot, then they come all back with a body shot because you got him with a good body shot. I was roughing him up on the inside, and all of a sudden I remember seeing him trying to throw his shoulders and his forearms coming forward. I said, oh, you're trying to be like me. And the 6-time world champion trying to be like me. I said, okay, I respect that. Oh, man.
First, let me just thank everybody. It was really a pleasure being here at Turning Stone Casino, right? Boxing Hall of Fame week festivities. And, you know, this is really a week for boxing. And it's so great that in our main event, we were able to get a fight that was worthy of the old-time fighters. You know, we're in an area where Carmen Basilio was from, a real warrior. If you remember that eye being closed in his fight and the brutal battles he had with Robinson and everything else. And here we had in the main event tonight on the Hall of Fame week and the celebrations, Cletus Seldin really fighting like the old time fighters. And it's rewarding and refreshing to see. You don't see it in the game. You don't see a fighter fighting every second of every round. So I'm pleased that we were able to have this card here. I'm pleased that he fought this kind of fight. I'm pleased with all the other fighters on the card. I mean, every fight from start to finish was fantastic and exciting. And thank you all. I appreciate it.
Yeah.